Hello my fashion lovers, welcome to today's tutorial. On today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make an inbuilt corset with an invisible boning. The corset is going to have an invisible boning, and if you want to learn how to make this mermaid skirt, the link is in the description box, and the back of the corset, the link is in the description box, and for the sleeve, the link on how to make the sleeve is in the description box. Scroll down to the description box, you will see the link, click on it and it will take you to the video. And if you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Let's get straight to the video. For the invisible corset, the length of the corset is 22. The length of the corset I'll be taking is 22. For the invisible inbuilt corset, the length is 22. Do not allow it to be more than 22. If you want to get a perfect inbuilt corset, the length should not be more than 22. And you go ahead and mark it out. That is the length 22. After checking out the length, we're going to mark out the armhole. Go ahead and mark out the armhole, which is 9 inches. 9 inches. And you mark the bust point, the armhole, 9 inches. After the armhole, you go ahead and mark the bust point. The bust point is 10.5. Bust point is 10.5. Take the under bust. The under bust is 13. The under bust is 13. Then you go ahead and take the waist. The waist I'm working with is 17 inches. You go ahead and rule out the lines. And the last line, where the length is the hip line. That is where I'll be imputing the hip measurement. You go ahead and mark out your lines. The chest line, the bust points, the under bust, the waist, and the hip line. And the shoulder line, I'll be taking 7.5. The shoulder is 15. Divide by 2. You have 7.5. You impute your shoulder measurement and take it down to the chest line. And for the neckline, I'll be taking 3 inches by 3 inches. 3 inches by 3 inches is going to have a yoke. Invisible corset with yoke. and mark 1 inch for the shoulder slope and connect to the neckline. And now we are going to take the darts, take the yoke. For the yoke, I marked 7 inches from the neckline. For the yoke, it's going to have yoke. I marked 7 inches from the neckline. Go ahead and rule it. And I'm going to take the bust measurement. The bust measurement divided by 4. Go ahead and mark it. And for the armhole, you find the middle part of the armhole. You go in by 1/2 inch and connect to the bust measurement. Go ahead and take the darts. Darts is the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 will give you 4, and that will serve as the darts. But that will serve as the corset dart. You go ahead and mark it. You add 1/2 inch to it. That will give you 4.5. You go ahead and mark it out. On the underbust, you'll be taking 1/2 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, and 1 inch on the other side. And on the waistline, take 1 inch on this side and 1 inch at the other side. You go ahead and connect. Connect it to the hip line. Connect it to the hip line. You go ahead and use your curve ruler to connect from the bust point, using a curve ruler to from the bust point to the underbust, using your curve ruler. And on the shoulder line, you're going to measure it. Whatever you have there, you share it into 2. Measure your shoulder line. You get the middle part of the shoulder line and connect it straight. Connect it straight to the point. You see that first line I made is not straight, so you have to connect it. Make a straight line from the shoulder to the bust point. With a straight line. The other curved line, the one I'm marking out now, is not necessary. Just overlook it. Then you go ahead from that point, from that yoke point, the upper line, the upper chest line, you go ahead and connect it with a curve. Go ahead and connect it with a curve. See where I'm placing the ruler with a curve. You connect to the upper chest line. Connect it to your upper chest line. Then you go ahead from the underbust. You connect the second line. Connect to the second line. And on the bust point where the bust your on the where the your bust measurement is, where you marked your bust measurement, you're going to measure it and get the midpoint. Then you go ahead and connect. But when you get to your armhole, just go in by 1 inch and connect to the upper chest line. Then you go ahead and connect the down part. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Just look at what I'm doing. Then on the upper line, you're going to take 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch on both sides as your dart. Take out your dart. Take out your dart. Use your curve ruler to connect it to the bust point. From the upper chest line, take out 1/2 inch dart and connect to the bust point using your curve ruler. And the part I'm shading, that is where you're going to cut off. And now you're going to take your measurements, the bust measurements. After dividing by 4, you add your sewing allowance and mark the same on the bust points. On the underbust, divide your underbust by 4. Then whatever that you took out, you add it up. That you took out, you add it. Then add your sewing allowance. On the waistline, you mark your waistline divided by 4. You go ahead and add the sewing allowance plus the 2 inches that you cut out. And for the hip line, your hip line divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. You mark it on the hip line. You go ahead and connect the lines. You go up on the hip line, you go up by 1.5 inch and you blend it. You go up by 1.5 inch and you blend it back. You go ahead and connect the remaining line. Then you're going to mark out. You're going to mark out the corset cuffs as 1, 2, the sides and the center. The C is the center and the S is for the sides. And the places we are marking, there are the places we're going to cut. And the yoke. Mark out the yoke. And now we're going to cut. If you are still watching at this point, please subscribe. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. And the neckline is going to be a sweetheart neckline. Go ahead and cut out the darts. Cut out the cuff. You go ahead and take out the darts, the upper darts. Cut out the side. You go ahead and cut out the yoke. And now that you have your pieces, the yoke, you have the yoke. This is the back part. The back part, how to cut it and how to sew it is in the description box. And this is the corset we just cut out now. And the yoke, the cups, the first cup, the second cup, and the center. And you're going to cut everything on fold. You're going to cut everything on fold and leave your half-inch sewing allowance round it while you're cutting. And the same way, that's the same way you're going to cut the main fabric and the lining. Go ahead and cut the main fabric and the lining. Now we'll go ahead and join everything together. Go ahead and join it. Join the sides, the side and the middle parts in order to fix your cup. This is the main fabric. The main fabric, I won't be putting any boning on it. The boning will be on the lining. The boning will be on the lining. Join the sides, the two sides to the center corset. This is for the main fabric. For the main fabric, the lining, that is where the boning is going to be. Go ahead and match your cup. Go ahead and join the two cups. The one we marked 1 and the other one we marked 2. Go ahead and join it. I ironed hairstay on it. I ironed the hairstay on the cups. Go ahead and join it with half-inch. After joining, this is what you will have for the cup. And when you want to fix it, make sure it matches with the line where you're fixing. It matches with the line. You open it up and stitch it down. Stitch the other side, then you go around and stitch the other side. For your main fabric, iron your hairstay on it, and your lining, iron your hairstay on both the lining and the main fabric. You go ahead and stitch it down. You see what we have? Go ahead and sew the second cup with your 1/2 inch. Sew it down, then you stitch it to the fabric. Open it up and stitch it down. And after stitching, this is what you will have. This is what you will have for the cup. For the cup, you're going to get your cup and fix it inside the corset cup that you just sewed down. Get your bra cord and fix it. And how to do your cup tightening is in the description box. The video on how to tighten your cup is in the description box. So I think you have to watch it to see how I tighten the bra cup before fixing it inside the corset cup. You go ahead and put your hemming gum and use your iron and hold it down. This is for the main fabric. The lining is where I'll be putting the boning. The cup is too much, it's too big, so I'm cutting out the down part of the cup so that it will fit in into the cup I have already, the corset cup I have already. After fixing it, you go ahead and get your gum, and iron it down to make sure that the two bra cups are equal. Go ahead and cut the excesses that you don't want. Can you see it can fit in properly now? Make sure it's not getting to your sewing allowance for the upper part, so that when you want to turn it with your lining, it won't be too bulky. Make sure it's fitted properly. Then you go ahead and take your hemming gum. You take your hemming gum, insert it into your fabric corset cup, and then insert the bra cup. Insert the bra cup. Go ahead and use your iron. Once you iron it down, it will stick. The bra cup will stick. Go ahead and iron it down. And after ironing, this is what you're going to have to stick down to the main fabric. And this is for the main fabric. This is for the main fabric. Go ahead and iron it very well. Go ahead and iron it down very well. And once you wear it on the body, it's going to straighten out. Once you wear it on the body, to straighten out. And for the yoke, I cut out 2 pieces for the yoke. Go ahead and use the other one to turn it. I'm still going to turn the armhole, turn the neckline, and turn the armhole. But if you're going to fix sleeve on it, there's no need turning the armhole. After arranging it, you go ahead and sew it and turn it. Go ahead and attach it to your corset. Attach it to the corset, to the main fabric. Go ahead and stitch it down. Stitch one side, then you turn to the other side and stitch it down. And now to the lining where we're going to be putting the boning. This is the lining, and we're going to attach the boning to it. You measure the middle to know where you're going to place your boning. This is for the lining. This is where the boning is going to be. Get the middle and measure what you have there and cut out your boning. Go ahead and mark your lines. This is where I'll be putting the boning. Mark it out. And now you're going to take your boning and measure it and cut. Do not allow your body to get to your sewing allowance. Do not allow your body to get to your sewing allowance. And you go ahead and cut out your boning for all the channels. And after cutting, you're going to iron it out. Iron your boning out. You iron the boning out before placing it, before sewing it down. This is Regine boning. I'm going to sew it down, and after attaching and sewing, this is what you will have. And if you want to do double boning, after attaching it, you go ahead and impute the plastic boning inside the Regine boning. If you want to do a double boning. You go ahead and impute the plastic boning inside the resin boning. This one is optional if you want to insert the plastic boning, but if you don't want, you can go ahead and use only your resin boning for it. And after, you're going to sew the cup to the lining. Just attach the cup without the breast cup. This is for the lining. You go ahead and attach it. You go ahead and attach the second one too for the lining. Go ahead and sew it down like we sewed the other one. Go ahead and attach it with your sewing allowance. And after attaching it, now you're going to use your lining to cover it up. Use your lining to cover the main corset. Make sure they are matching. You go ahead and stitch it down. Go ahead and stitch the second one. And after sewing, this is what you will have. For the neckline, you go ahead and top stitch. You go ahead and top stitch the lining so that the lining will lay flat. You go ahead and top stitch. For the back part of this corset is in the description box. If you want to learn how to sew the back of this corset, is in the description box. And after sewing, you go ahead and join the back parts to the front on the shoulder. Join it on the shoulder. You join the shoulder, and after joining the shoulder, joining the front and the back on the shoulder, you go ahead and take your measurements and shape it out. Go ahead and join the two shoulder. After joining, you go ahead and take the measurements and shape the sides. The opening at the back, make sure you still have the opening at the back before you go ahead and join. You go ahead and shape using your measurements, the waist measurements and the bust measurement to shape. After shaping the two, the front and the back, this is what you're going to have. And you're going to use your ribbon to finish up the down part. And this is what you're going to have. And if you have any question, ask in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next class. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.